Welcome back to The Mind, guys. As you know, if you have watched in the past, which I'm sure a lot of you have, I'm Alex.
I'm Andrew.
And, like we just said, this is The Mind. So today, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking... I'm going to kind of like move this so it's
this
not
is not like right
blocking.
in the middle of the screen.
We're going to be talking a little bit about standardized testing. Now,
Whoop-de-doo.
to kind of define that for you, in case you're unfamiliar with the term, standardized testing is any test that is standardized. So what that
Yes, very
what that
cool.
means, a couple examples, which if you live in the U.S. you'll know what these are, is we have the ACT, the SAT, basically anything where you're just filling out bubbles, and the answers are sent off to some organization, maybe in Utah, I don't know.
Any test that has like a Scantron form and it's multiple choice, and you have to pick all the right answers.
Yeah,
Those are standardized tests.
basically a lot of the tests you take with bubbles. Anyway, we're going to talk about a little bit about the issues we have with standardized testing.
First off, these tests focus on rote memorization. You have to memorize facts. There's no critical thinking at all involved. It's just know this and then remember it for the test.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like that doesn't actually help you in the real world, because I know a little bit about this topic. I'm a little bit educated about this topic, slightly. The U.S. Department of Education actually says in its mission statement that they want to prepare students for like to be competitive in a global world, and in the global workplace, you're not going to be sitting there bubbling out, filling out bubbles. You know, guys, we need a new marketing strategy for this product.
Is it A,
Ready?
B, C, or D?
Your time begins now. You have 1 hour. Put your pencil, get a number 2 pencil and go. You know, no, that's not how it works in the workplace.
And it's really reflecting on the education system, because what teachers are doing now is, here are 10 facts. Remember them all and you'll be tested on them tomorrow. It focuses...
Which from a student's perspective, that's somewhat nice. But
Yeah.
in the long run, that does no
It
benefit.
doesn't teach you how things work or why things work or why things happen the way they do. It teaches you what happens. Like, you learn that the Nazis invaded Poland in World War II, but you don't know why, you don't know how, and all those other important details.
Well, and another thing with that too is like if somebody asks you about World War II, say you meet somebody who wants to know what you know about World War II, you can list off all these facts about World War II, but when it comes to actually interacting with that person, you're going to kind of be lacking in the skills. You're going to be able to state, this is what happened, this is when they invaded, this is who did it, these are the battles, but that's not a solid conversation.
And you won't be able to discuss like the ideologies, like, oh, and this is the reason for this, and this is why I think it was wrong, this is why they thought it was correct, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And you won't be prepared for counter arguments.
Yeah.
That's another big thing. Somebody counters your point, you're in for a bad time.
See?
All of the above. Another point we just kind of wanted to touch on in standardized testing is I'm sure a lot of you have taken these. So the ACT, for example, is out of 36 points. The SAT, they just changed it. It's 1,600 now, I believe. It used to be out of 2,400, but starting this year, I think it's 1,600.
This year being 2015.
Anyway, the way those scores are distributed is it's a normal curve, right?
It's a normal, I think it's a normal distribution, yeah.
So they take all the people and they take all the scores of how people did and they say like, all right, where the majority of people get their scores, that's going to be
It's your bell curve.
this score right here, bell curve. So basically that means that all the people in the middle, regardless of how well you do, so let's say you did fairly decent on the test, you didn't do horrible, but you didn't get, you know, the highest grade out there. Well, you're still going to be grouped in the middle with everybody else because it's normally distributed.
Because if the tests are never the same 2 years in a row, so say 1 year it's a little bit harder, so everyone scores a little bit lower, so they move the bell curve from, say the mean is here, they move it over to like toward the negative side. This is positive to the camera, but you get what I mean.
Either way.
Or if the test is easier and people do well, the mean score goes more toward the high end.
Yeah. And basically if you're in the middle, you're kind of out of luck because there's going to be a lot of people like you, and you're not going to necessarily stick out when you're applying to colleges, you know, summer programs, things like that. Whoa, guys, we're getting a phone call.
Ring, ring!
You take it. I took the last one.
Throw in the phone. Hello? Yeah. No, right, yes, exactly. That's a good point. Okay, thank you for calling.
Andrew, who was that?
That was Christopher from Utah.
Huh, we mentioned Utah earlier. How interesting.
How coincidental.
What did Christopher have to say?
Christopher was saying, we're introducing all these criticisms of these multiple choice standardized testing, but what are our suggested solutions for this?
Huh, funny you should ask.
Aha.
I'm sure a lot of you, if you're a student or if you were a student in the past and are not anymore, a lot of your tests, there will be short answers on. Care to explain?
Like there's a question and it says, for example, to what extent is this an issue or was this an issue or is this true? And you have to write a response to it that requires analytical thinking in addition to your memorization.
Yeah. And I've heard of a program that actually does this. It's called, hold on, I have the name written out here. The International, what does that say? Accurate?
Baccalaureate.
No, I feel like that's wrong. There's too many C's in there.
There's two C's. CC. Cross country.
But no. So the International, how do you say it?
Baccalaureate, I think. That's how you say
Baccalaureate,
that
the
word.
International Baccalaureate. I've actually heard, and it says here that they do promote a lot of short responses to their.
They're centered in Geneva, Switzerland.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
And their tests focus more on critical thinking and discussion of the answers. And it looks like the tests actually don't have many multiple choice questions.
Yeah, the questions responses require a lot of open-minded analytical thinking on principles of different aspects of learning, not just this is what happens and this is a fact and this is a number and this is a value.
It mentions here command terms is how they mention.
Get some more.
Let's look at this. So these are some of the questions that they
These
ask.
are new ones.
What's that?
Are these new ones?
What new ones? Are we aware of any old ones? So, to what extent is one of them? Discuss, justify, investigate, explain. So, as you can see, they're not just asking for the answer anymore.
They're asking you to examine multiple aspects of a possible answer or response.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if you have an IB school near you, you might want to check that out. You do that. Anything else we have to add?
I think that's it for this video.
All right, that is it.